Welcome back to Caesar's Palace. Israel Gonzalez against Juan Manuel Marquez. Featherweight scheduled for 8 rounds. To introduce the principals to you, let's go again to famed ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Well, fans, we welcome you back to our action. This time we feature fighters in the featherweight division. This bout is scheduled for 8 rounds of boxing. Judging at ringside for this bout, Jerry Roth, Dick Houck, and Bill Belegia, with the referee in charge introducing Toby Gibson. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the red corner, he is wearing blue trunks with white trim and fighting out of Durango, Mexico. He weighed in at 126 pounds, and his record includes 13 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw, with 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing Israel Gonzalez. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the blue corner in this 8-round attraction. He enters the ring wearing black trunks with white trim, fighting out of Mexico City, La Ciudad de Mexico. He weighed in at a ready 124 pounds. With a record of 7 wins and 1 loss, he has 5 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome Juan Manuel Marquez. Once again, here's your referee in charge, Toby Gibson, now to give instructions.
Got him, Gory. Okay, gentlemen, I demand a clean fight. You received your instructions in the dressing room prior to this fight. Good luck to both of you.
All right, Gonzalez is in the blue and white. Tail of the tape as you watch these two in action. Gonzalez is 22, Marquez 21, both at 5'7". Gonzalez a 2-pound advantage in the weight, and he is 2 inches shorter in the reach department. The rules here in Nevada to govern this bout: 10-point must system. Winner of the round gets 10, loser a lesser number. 3 knockdown rule is in effect. No standing 8 count. Saved by the bell only in the last round, and only the referee can stop the fight. That referee is Toby Gibson. We're set to go, scheduled for 8 rounds, featherweights. Gonzalez in the blue and white. Juan Manuel Marquez in black. Marquez weighed 124 and Gonzalez 126. Crowd still buzzing a bit about that left hand. Not once, twice, but 3, 4, 5 times in a row, as exhibited by Vince Phillips, that put Shabato Flores down and out.
Well, that's a pretty impressive return to the ring after a year out of action.
That's right. Anyway, I was surprised to hear him say he would take a fight at 143, and then he wanted to fight Sammy Fuentes at 140.
Sammy Fuentes in this undercard a little bit earlier knocked out his opponent here, a guy from Ensenada.
Sammy Fuentes is a kid who was reborn. We saw him recently at the Forum, and I thought he looked great. I thought he looked better than any time in his career. And he's fought a lot of the major contenders, and I think he's working himself back into contention.
He fought Chavez right here.
Yeah, he fought every big-name fighter in the world, hasn't he? He's got a record of 28-13, now 29-13, but it's misleading because some of those losses were to some of the best fighters coming and going.
Yeah, as Fernando mentioned, he fought a pretty good fight against Julio Cesar Chavez.
Back when Chavez was considered to be very, very good. Not that he isn't very good now, but I'm talking very, very good.
So now he's got a very
dropped a very. He dropped one very. From
I dropped a very. Just a light variation there in our appraisal of Julio Cesar Chavez. You fight fans, remember that Marco Antonio Barrera is still on the card tonight, still to be heard from. He's going against the former bantamweight champion, Fast Eddie Cook. This is round 1. These featherweights. Gonzalez is in the blue and white to the left of your screen. The black trunks, Juan Manuel Marquez. He's from Mexico City. Gonzalez from Durango.
Gonzalez we saw not too long ago, Tom, back in August at the Forum. He fought Marco Antonio Barrera.
Yes.
He didn't do badly. I mean, he was losing most every round, but all of a sudden in like the 5th and the 6th round, he started to come on a little bit. And then, when Barrera put his mind to it, that was lights out. But, up till that point, when you consider the opposition, Barrera, he gave a good account of himself.
He did indeed. And, of course, his display of pretty good boxing, as you say, in rounds 5 and 6, Kind of served as a wake-up call to Barrera, who suddenly decided he would dispatch young Mr. Gonzalez and end the evening's activities, and he did. He's in the blue. Gonzalez we're talking about. Coming to the end of round number 1. It's scheduled for 8. We'll be back with more from Caesar's Palace right after this. Out they come for round number 2. They're scheduled for 8 rounds. Featherweights. The young man from Durango, that's Israel Gonzalez in the blue and white, and Marquez in the black. In case you joined us a bit late, why, in the rematch, Riddick Bowe won it again as he beat Larry Donald. It was kind of a dull, lackluster heavyweight bout, but Bowe really had the best of it all the way through, and as we showed you some highlights earlier, he solid shots here. Really had a good 12th round.
Yeah, they had a good feel them out first round here, Tom, in this fight, but it looks as though they're down to business now.
You have to understand that Marquez comes from Berenstein's stable, which is Humberto Chiquitas Gonzalez manager. And under the Mexican fighters, most of them, they go for the first round and they go what they call the study round. So that's why, you know, the first round normally is a slow round, then they pick it up.
Marquez, you mentioned Fernando, that he's got Berenstein in his corner, and you've dealt with Berenstein more than we have, but he is certainly growing in his credibility and renown. What do you think's his strengths as a trainer are?
Well, he's been training Olympians since 1956, I think, experience, and also he had a lot of most of the fighters are going to him now.
Well, these guys are showing the effects of some solid shots to the face, blood coming from the nose of Marquez and also Gonzalez.
Maybe they should study 2 rounds.
Maybe they should. Now Gonzalez is not bleeding from the nose, but certainly Marquez is. He's in the black trunks. Not much body punching going on. These two guys are teeing off.
Well, in the case for Israel, you know, he's not against Barrera now. He's against a fighter that he can hit.
And probably hurt.
I think he did stun Barrera at that time. I think, well, you know, the difference in weight, because he was fighting at 126, maybe 27, was hurting Barrera.
Yeah, and you know, Barrera came into that fight at 123.5, which was his heavyweight, which actually puts him up into the featherweight division. That's over super bantamweight.
Yep.
And it proved like he seemed a little sluggish in that fight against Israel Gonzalez.
Nice exchange of left hands. That left hand thrown by Marquez kind of missed. Right hand doesn't, though.
You know, Marquez has the look of a pretty stinging puncher here, Tom. His punches are quite crisp.
He's won 7 fights, and 5 of those have come via the knockout route. And the other guy, Gonzalez, can put you away, too. He's knocked out 7 of his opponents while winning 13, so he's at 50%. But depending upon who Marquez has been in with, well, he's got a very high knockout ratio in regard to the 7 victories. Round 2 coming to a close. It's scheduled for 8. These are featherweights, and we'll be back after this. Round number 3. Marquez is in the black, Gonzalez in the blue and white. These are featherweights at 124 pounds for Marquez, 126 for Gonzalez. And it's been a busy action fight since that opening study round, as Fernando called it. Nice double jab and then a nice right hand thrown by Marquez, and he's all over Gonzalez now. Gonzalez fighting back, but catching more than he's giving. Marquez having a nice 3rd round here, gentlemen.
Yeah, and crowd warming to the action too, Tom. He really punches sharply, Marquez.
Doesn't anybody throw any body punches anymore, gentlemen? Everybody's going straight to the jaw. I don't think we've had a punch to the body in this round or in this fight. And we're in round number 3. Marquez had some blood coming from his nose a bit earlier. 2 minutes remaining here in this round. Nice combinations. He's very quick and right to the point, Marquez. Seems to be quicker than Gonzalez, at least here. Left-right combination. Marquez scores again.
Marquez can not only fight coming forward, but he can also counterpunch, which makes him a lot more dangerous.
He's been led. There's a body shot with the left hand. Yes, hello.
dedicated to Tom.
Kind of telegraphed that, too. He came from halfway across the ring. Here it comes. He wanted everybody to know, including you, Kelly.
Well, and he surprised the kid from Durango, Gonzalez, and he nails him with a couple of other solid left hands. This is a very good round for Marquez.
Yes, and look for some blood around the eye, the left eye of Israel Gonzalez.
Gonzalez has been busy catching a lot of leather from Marquez in this round with a minute left in it. There's blood coming from the nose of Marquez, but he's had that since round 1.
And you would think that the guy with the most fights would be Marquez on black, and yet it's Israel, the one that has almost twice as many fights.
Gonzalez looks like he's having a little trouble getting off, Rich. He just can't seem to get himself galvanized into action.
Yeah, he kind of chases him around, but he doesn't throw. So he follows him there, but doesn't throw punches.
It's the other kid, Marquez, who gets off first, scores with the jab, scores with the combinations, and then gets away. And by the time Gonzalez gets ready to throw a punch, why, he gets nailed a couple of more times and is back in a defensive posture again. Round 3 coming to a close. There's the bell.
I think like what you were saying, at this stage of his career, Berenstein, most of the fighters that he brings with him should be good.
This is round 4.
Well,
These are featherweights scheduled for 8.
One of Berenstein's fighters, Chiquita Gonzalez, is among those here in attendance tonight. What's really fun about the fights here in Vegas, of course, is you often will get those celebrities.
I tell you, Marquez has hurt Gonzalez and is all over him, hammering away, and Gonzalez is really hurt. His hand is caught in the rope, and they're going to stop the fight. Gibson stopped it. Do you think it was good?
Yes.
Well, Israel didn't think so.
No.
He immediately came back, but he sold, batter up.
Look at he's kind of wobbling, it looks like to me, to his corner. Plus, he opened up a cut, a very bad cut right underneath the eye with that flurry. That was impressive.
It was indeed. And Marquez really, with a flurry, nailed Gonzalez, had him against the ropes. We'll take another look at it, and was hammering away as the referee finally decided to come in and stop it. He just backs him up, Rich, and hurts him.
Well, again, not going to the body, just a tunnel vision attack to the head, but alternating just left, right, left, right, left, right, and most of those shots landing.
And Gonzalez, even though he was throwing punches, never did counter with anything of any substance. So Marquez, very impressive in round number 4. When they'll stop this one, we'll be back to get the official time right after this message. An impressive showing by Juan Manuel Marquez here at Caesar's Palace. In a battle of featherweights, he dispatches Israel Gonzalez with a flurry, a barrage of punches in round number 4. For the official time, Jimmy Lennon Jr. is standing by. Jimmy, if you will.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 34 seconds in round number 4. The referee in charge, Toby Gibson, stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout, Juan Manuel Marquez.
Well, I tell you, Rich and Fernando, this kid's record was no fooler. 8-1 and now 6 knockouts. This guy can punch.
He can also box, and I think you have a tremendous talent coming up in this kid.
Let us bring you up to date on the next chapter, or the most recent chapter in the Riddick Bowe Larry Donald saga. You saw the slap, the punches thrown at the press conference at the Forum. Now papers have been served. Larry Donald plaintiff against Riddick Bowe individually, and does 1 through 50. And the complaint says assault and battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress. The papers were served tonight after the fight. And of course, Bowe won that fight. Coming up, more boxing from Caesar's Palace. We've got the Pentacontinental Super Bantamweight Championship on the line. The baby-faced assassin, undefeated Marco Antonio Barrera, and former WBA Bantamweight champ Fast Eddie Cook. They'll be coming your way next. Stay tuned.